I guess I will do much like I did when I see Commissioner Commissioner Bender in the back of the room, and much like I did when I used this room as a county commissioner, I guess I will start with a little prayer opening and then pledge allegiance. But I'll say, dear Lord, thank you for the city, for the opportunity for us to come together freely and work together and to be here. Thank you for all the people who live and serve this community and what they do every day to make things get done. We ask that you engender us in the spirit of cooperation and thinking how we can work together. In your name we pray, amen. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Well, I am very happy to, I didn't see any council members at this time, but I did see Commissioner Bender. I'm glad that this is what I always loved about coming to Vickrey, because it was a stone's throw from my house, but it really is about a stone's throw from Robert's house. So glad to be here today. Also, I have on my purple shirt for Fat Tuesday, but I'm very sorry about the date. Somehow, I told Casey, I said, let's do one in February, and it was like, she said, what about March 1st? I said, hey, that's great. February's only got 28 days. It's kind of like February. And then I didn't ever realize until we got right up on top of it. We looked at it and we were like, oh, that's Fat Tuesday. So probably a lot more people are having more fun than we are tonight. But thank you for being here. This certainly is important. One of the things we've been trying to do since we've come out of COVID. We've tried to pick these back up. We certainly did several of these, and I know everybody sort of tried to figure out over the last 2 years how to operate, carry messages. But I think there's no exception for face-to-face opportunities to interact. We certainly have seen that all over our community. I do want to just give out a little shout-out appreciation for Pensacola Mardi Gras Group. They did an amazing job with the parade and the things that Danny has done. I think it just kind of shows people are ready to get back to doing the things that we interact with people. That's what we are. We're used to doing that. And I hope that now where we are, certainly with Omicron, we're down under 50 again, and we have we again, as we look at things going forward, certainly I'm not ready to say that we're at the end of COVID, but I think as one hospital administrator said when we were during Omicron, said I think we're beginning to see the beginning of the end. So I think as we're headed into that, we're trying to position ourselves and our city to get back to doing some things more normal, and we thought it was a good time to begin to start coming back out and doing town halls. I see Councilwoman Brayer in the back, so I did at least want to acknowledge the Councilwoman. So happy to have her. Did want to acknowledge several of the things that we are doing, and then I really kind of wanted to just open up to you. We do have a lot of staff here from all different departments. This is your city. We work for you, and we're certainly working hard. Let me say also a huge shout out and appreciation to them. Every day things happen in this community. I told people all the time, you want to talk about those two parades. It looked like it was just automatically how things go, but that's not what happens. There are a series of people. It was police, fire, Parks and Rec, Public Works, sanitation. All that teamwork working together is what pulls off that. And there are a lot of people that don't ever. I get to sit out here some ways and sometimes the limelight, which is good and bad. But I'm the one that has to sit out here. But they're the ones that quietly go about working every day to make sure that we're a great place, and they do an amazing job. And I couldn't be prouder of the 800 men and women that work for the City of Pensacola. I think they do an amazing job at what they do, and they really have provided us with a lot of great amenities and a lot of great services, and they do an amazing job. And so I'm very thankful for them, and several of them are here. And if you have questions tonight, they're here to answer your questions in any way they can. We've got a lot of things happening. Just to kind of give you sort of a rundown, I would say our senior management team is sort of up here at the front. We have Fiddler, who I think last time I was here to introduce him, he was the assistant city administrator. Now he is the city administrator, been that way since October 1st, and we're very happy. He's doing a great job keeping all those things running. We do have somebody who I'm no stranger to, worked with for a while at the county and brought him over. Now he's the deputy city administrator is David Forte. Deputy Administrator Amy Miller is having fun right now, so we're happy for her. But we are here today. David has put together some of the things that I hope you get a chance to see what's going on. These are just a small and some of the things that he's doing in our public works area that we're doing. And by no means this is a very small sample of what we are doing. We have a number of things going on and other stuff. Just this past week, I was out with Chief Craner in the back. She's here with the fire department. They got a new ladder truck. It's really awesome. It's going to be very good for us. It offers better things so we can provide better safety in what we do in buildings that we would need a ladder truck to get into. They do an amazing job. Police certainly in the things that they're going on, and we've got some new promotions that have happened. We've got some new leadership taken on, and I see Captain, even though his stickers, his little name tag still says Lieutenant, Captain Goss in the back, who I usually run into when I'm on Jerry May Garden. He's riding his bike. I'm walking out there, so I know he's right in the area. So again, we've got a lot of things happening all over. I did want to say Parks and Rec. We've got Adrian Stills, who's run everything for us out of Osceola, but is stepping up in an interim position in taking on leadership at Parks and Rec. So Adrian, appreciate you being here. But a couple things going on with Public Works. And by the way, if you haven't met Amy Tootle, raise your hand in the back. Amy is in charge of Public Works. She's come to us from Santa Rosa County. She was also with DOT, which has been fruitful for us for trying to build some better relationships and working on some projects with DOT. One of those is the Palafox Street Road Diet that we just got the council resolution on, and we're hoping to be moving forward with DOT. We've been planning that project for a while. We've got Cecil Hunter Pool that's under construction. Construction began 2/16 with estimated project completion of fall of 2022. Swimming will be able to occur this summer, even though the pool is being built around it. The pool is still going to be functioning. People can use it. A Street revitalization construction solicitation underway with CRA. There's a discussion on next Monday. Hollis T. Williams Skate Park bid opens 3/14, March 14th. Contract award scheduled for March 24th with Council and April 11th with CRA. Garden Street Landscaping issued notice to proceed.
Acronyms.
Yeah. I was getting that one. Notice to proceed to Wallace Company in February of 22. Construction begins and with a completion of summer 22. Bruce Beach Phase 1 opening bid scheduled for April 12th. Anticipated CRA approval May 9th. Hashtag Phase 1 bid openings March 7th. Anticipated CRA approval for April 11th. Bars Park and Sanders Beach kayak projects. We have gotten grant executed agreements back, and we will start proceeding with design. Those are early in the projects. I don't know if some of you are in here. Certainly I think the Sanders Beach one is moving forward. The Bars one we think is a great opportunity to open up the bayou on the north end. It's our really only public water access to the bayou on the north end. We have Bayview, and we have the other a couple of boat launches on the very southern end. But really our only north one will be in Bars Park, and we are working closely with the neighborhood to make sure that we're not going to do anything that adversely impacts the neighborhood, but does allow for us to have some access to the waterfront on the northern end, because it's a long way. Certainly if you want to get in a craft that you paddle or do something else, it's a long way to come up to the north end of the bayou, all the way from Bayview Park. So we are looking to try to extend and bring some further amenities onto the northern end of the bayou. Then also we have the Community Maritime Park Day Dock Marina project. We should have a fully executed agreement soon from Florida Fish and Wildlife, and then proceeding with construction solicitations. So these are just some of the projects that we are working, in addition to a whole host of other things that are out there. We continue to keep moving forward on a number of fronts, and I'm excited to see where we are. I will tell you that your enterprises, Ms. Miller is not here today, but I can tell you almost all of our enterprises
are running at record paces. Our port has been succeeding well, and it's sort of proceeding in a niche. We're not trying to be everybody else's port. We're trying to be ports that are consistent with what we do and are successful at what we do. We are providing more jobs and getting more funding out of that. Our airport, which is right here, which those of you who live around here like myself, we hear it all the time. It is continuing to see record numbers. We are so much so that it's coming time for us to look to have another terminal. We don't have any desk space left. We need more gate space. It's amazing to be a kid here who grew up and there were two flights and two airlines. They had two flights and they both went to Atlanta. And now to see where we are, going to almost 30 different cities directly and what we're doing. As I say in the future, I think coming out of COVID, again, if you have internet and a good airport, you're going to be successful. And I think small business, we're seeing that more and more, where people are looking for communities like Pensacola that have that, and an airport is a huge part of that. So we've been very successful there. We are still proceeding with the project also there that I think is going to be a real fruitful for the airport. The project with ST, we're in the process of hangar number 2. We hope to get hangar 3 and 4 being designed and hopefully started and kicked off by this fall. Hangar 2, we're hoping that this fall, early winter, that will be completing. So we have a number of projects going on. Pensacola Energy continues to rock along and doing well. The only thing we have, and it's doing well, they're doing incredibly well. What they do is our sanitation department, but we've got a couple things we're looking at. We like everything else coming out of COVID, we've learned that for us to be able to be successful and still retain all of our drivers, we've got to make sure that we fairly compensate them. So we're working through that, and there's some things that we're looking at. Outside of that, I think I've talked about everything we've got except some of our internal departments. They're doing well. They take care of us. But I see Sherry Morris in the back, and I appreciate Sherry in the back. She's over all our development services. I can also tell you that group has never been more active than they've been right now. We see a lot of things happening in the community, and we're trying to work through those things as well. So there's a lot of stuff going on, but more than anything else, I wanted a chance to hear from you. We've got a couple of people who have filled out. If you would like to fill something out, you're welcome to. I think from our standpoint, Casey, we would like people to use the mic in front. Is that what we're wanting people to come forward and use the mic, just because of we're streaming, so having people be able to see and also be able to hear from the mic. So if you'd like to speak, we'll be happy to get as many people here. This is your meeting. We want to hear from you, and we'll be happy to call you up, and we'll be happy to assist as we can. I'll start with Mike Horgan. If you want to come forward, Mike, and you can come be the first one up.
I get to be first.
Yes.
The last time I was in this room for a meeting, it was packed because we had an issue about Family Dollar putting a store in at Spanish and Summit. Do you remember that?
That was before I was mayor. But yes.
Yeah. Anyway, but it was packed. We appreciate this opportunity, and let me just say right off the bat, Mayor Robinson, over the years that you've been mayor, like anybody else, we've disagreed and agreed on issues. I have always appreciated your communication. You are responsive. Whether I like it or not, you're responsive. Chief Randall, right there, right? Talked to him right after he was hired, and we talked about traffic and some other things, and you were also very responsive. I lived in the county for 21 years, no offense, Mr. Bender. Lived in the county 21 years, been in the city 22, much prefer living in the city because of the responsiveness we get from our staff. Okay, having said that, two issues bring me here tonight. We've communicated a little bit about this before. The first one is traffic control, if that's what you want to call it. The city has huge, the citizens, the city staff, we have huge issues, and you mentioned a number of them, Mayor Robinson, millions of dollars, airport and other such, but I'm kind of a simple person. I drive around and I'm tired of taking my life in my hands when I drive around the city and the county, of course, and let me key it down to one more level, red light runners. I think we have some kind of an issue where the state may have interceded and said you can't have red light cameras, but that is a question I have. But we've got to control the red light runners. It used to be, you guys know, you get halfway through a light, maybe it turns red and you finish out for making your turn or something. And now these people are 100 or 200 feet back, full-blown red, wham. You all experience it, so I'm here to urge us as a city, particularly our police department, to put more emphasis on traffic enforcement. If it can be done through cameras legally, great. If not, let's get the officers out there making stops. The second issue I have is the homeless. Sometimes I want to use the term vagrants. It's gotten out of control in this city. Everything I read, everything I see is geared towards social services, housing, mental health, and that's all well and good, but I think we need enforcement too. For those of you who have done cleanups, Carpenter's Creek, Bluffs, Chimney Park, Bruce Beach, any cleanups, go into any stand of woods in this area, it's filthy. Defecation, urination, trash, toilet paper on the ground going into our waterways. Somebody owns this property. If it's not owned by the city or the county, it's owned by private individuals. There are laws about trespassing, overnight camping. Let's enforce those. Great to have a social service response. Let's have an enforcement response also. The most recent is a guy that sits there at the Winn-Dixie Target thing. For months, it's just been one or two people. And now if you look in that little stand of trees that's wide open, it's trash. So I like to drive around and see a pretty city. So that's my issues. Thank you.
Mike, thank you very much for coming in, and thank you for sharing those. I know you and I have corresponded about the homelessness issue, and I think really for the first time ever, the city has a plan and a process that can take care of it. I know, I see Mr. Powell in the back dealing with our neighborhood services. He's been at the forefront of this in our response and getting and working not only to actually enforce with our code enforcement and our police officers, but to actually also help. Our position is we're going to give you options. We can get you help. If you look to seek that help, we will work with you. If you're not looking to seek that help, then this may not be the community for you. And we've been in that process, working through that. But you know, I think there is a way for us to do it correctly, and I think for the first time ever, we've kind of got that. And I very much appreciate the council funding, putting forward funding for those programs. We've got a couple things opening that have been important for us to be able to address that. I was there with the fire department. They were painting this week at Bright Bridges, which is over in Brownsville, and I know the REAP is going to get theirs going here very shortly. They're hoping to be in by April. I know that Bright Bridges is hoping to be in this month in March. So again, I think we are finding places for people to be able to get to, and we're working with that. And a lot of it was exacerbated by COVID and some of the other things that are happening, but it's a work in progress. But I can tell you, Mr. Powell and the team that they're working on has a very good way of working with that. As far as red lights, I agree with you. I saw Deputy Chief Chrisman here earlier. There I couldn't see you're behind somebody there. He will tell you I'm not afraid to get them out. Many times we've had town halls, we'll get people out there. The only thing I say is, watch out for what you ask for, because we're out there writing tickets, you might get a ticket. So I will tell you, I see Deputy Chief Chrisman. I know we've done that several times. We've gotten them out there. Red lights are incredibly hard. If I knew the signal that they were going to run the red light, it would be real easy for law enforcement. But we have a lot of things that we do, and it's hard to get there. And what we typically can do is we can address certain ones, and we'll be there. And it just so happens that nobody ends up running those lights, and across town they're running lights. So it is that. We've looked at the traffic signal thing. I think we had some actual discussions. I can't remember if it was state law or something else, but we kind of pulled back on. I don't know if it was coming out of COVID. I'll pick that back up with them. But it is a challenge that we work with, and we will continue to try to do better. I know the chief will endeavor to do that with the team, but it's always sometimes hard to know exactly which light somebody's going to run. But you're exactly right, and I think all of us, just need to work and do better. Coming out of COVID, I think be a little bit more patient with traffic. So, Mike, I appreciate those things, and again, I'll be happy to answer your emails anytime. I was going to also say I noticed Councilwoman Myers has showed up, so Councilwoman, glad to have you here. I see Kathy Millar is next.
Back from up front?
Yes, ma'am. It's easier. We can see you and we can hear you.
Okay. My background, I was born and raised here, and I remember when I could play at the tennis center for 25 cents a day, go home and come back and eat lunch and go back and pay for the same 25 cents. I remember when Carter Park was all dirt roads. So anyway, my thing, we just moved away, did our military service, and after 39 years, I'm finally getting to the back here. And it's the worst time in 39 years to buy a town in this town, or a house in this town, or whatever. But hopefully by tomorrow, we will be landowners in the city. My thing is the road diet. I think that's not going to solve any traffic things. I think it's going to make it worse.
Which road diet are you talking about?
The road diet, I've heard of making Summit Boulevard down one lane.
Okay.
Because all you're going to do then is create congestion on all roads entering Summit Boulevard. And we have a speed limit, enforce it if that's the problem. I think downtown you're going to cause the same thing. You're just going to make more congestion. I'm moving here from Charleston, South Carolina, similar plan. They thought they were going to do that, and they changed. They were going to do like more pedestrian, slow down everybody. They realized they've got way too many people coming in there. This doesn't work. It just creates more problems on all the adjoining roads into that area that you want to make pedestrian friendly. With the red light thing, I agree with you on that. If we're going to do, I have no problem with red lights, with the cameras giving you tickets like Gulfbreeze. If it's cost effective and to make it really work, you need to install cameras that can be moved from intersection to intersection to intersection, because you can't afford enough for every intersection. And then we as drivers never know which one has a camera to give us a ticket. So, if you're going to install some, make them that they're movable around the city, so that we never know. And that way, everybody knows, well, don't run the one at 12th and Bayou, but you can run all over town and everywhere else.
Yeah.
And my only other thing, which I didn't get on my comment card, is the tree ordinance needs to be improved. We should not be losing an 85-inch diameter tree to a storage facility. And I have a storage facility, but we shouldn't be losing 85-inch trees to a storage facility in the city.
Thank you. I will say, Mr. Miller, the tree that you're talking about was in the county. That would have been saved under the city's code, but it was not in the city.
Okay, thank you. I've been going in and out of town, moving trucks still not here yet, so I've just been catching bits and pieces. But that was a shame for the county.
I will say, I'm happy to let David Forte mention a couple of things related to road diet, but I will say, the one on Summit, I'm ready to see what the study says. I think that's going to be the most important part.
I say use our money for a different study or something, because you're just going to waste city money doing a study on.
I lived here, and I'll be happy to let Councilwoman Breyer come forward if she wants to say something. I lived here. I lived here when Summit was 2-lane, and I've expressed there are some challenges that I see, but I'm more than happy to allow the study, because I understand there's several things. The one on Palafox, though, there are hardly any. I saw the news article the other day. They did it on the news, and they showed a film street. You could see the whole mile that we're going to do, and there were like 4 cars on the entire mile going in either direction. So I think Palafox Street, that section from the city limit to Cervantes, now that 110 is there, is just not utilized hardly at all. And I think it really there's a chance that the parking could lead to some significant improvement in residential commercial in that area, much like we see on 12th Avenue. But I appreciate the comment. I can tell you that's why we're going to do the study. It was advertised, wasn't it?
It was advertised, but we're not taking minutes and things like that. So-
Okay. All right. All right. Councilwoman Breyer, if you would like to talk with the individual tonight, you can. Councilwoman, because Councilwoman Myers is here.
It's her district, she should talk.
Okay.
You can stay as long as you don't say anything.
Well, if it was
She can't stay without.
She can't stay without you saying anything, yes.
No, she can stay without her saying
Okay,
something.
absolutely,
I
absolutely.
can say something.
You can say it's two-way communication, absolutely, absolutely. You're welcome to come forward.
So all I was gonna say.
But if you do come forward, could you come to the mic?
Sure.
And I'll let you at least tell people what the study
So
is.
just to be sure, I want to take the heat off them a little bit, is that was a council initiative to do the Summit Road Diet, not a staff initiative. And so that's kind of on us. We were looking at that, trying to see what would be better for the community in that area. And the reality is that, just to give it a kind of a comparison, is between 12th Avenue and Spanish Trail on Summit, there's about 5,000 cars a day. And between that same stretch, between Spanish and 12th on Langley, there's more like 13,000 cars a day. So you have very few cars on a very large speedway. And when you're in that kind of situation, it's kind of the Audubon. You can't hold yourself back. I mean, you got a wide open road like that. And so on that, we have a lot of wasted land on either side of the street that we could utilize for public use. So we are being positioned for this very location that we are at, for the Vickrey. We have an obligation to put them another parking lot here. If we have to do that, we take down the rest of the trees in this beautiful park. But if we can do a road diet and put parking along the street at a diagonal, then we may preserve what's remaining of our urban forest. So I just want to understand that the feasibility study here doesn't guarantee what we're doing, it just looks at those combinations and gives us an option to go forward. So I just want to make sure that that wasn't y'all that did this, that was me, that was us who did it, it's our initiative, so I just wanted to take the full responsibility.
Thank you, Councilman. I did want David to just kind of talk to you about, since he's done these before.
Can you hear me? Ms. Miller, yes. So I've got a great question. So when it comes to studies, there's multiple things that go into play when they consider a study. Ultimately, there's going to be the look at traffic safety, it'll look at capacity, it's going to look at the flow of the actual vehicles, whether it's going to be vehicles, actually motorized vehicles or non-motorized vehicles or pedestrian traffic, whatever it may be, mass transit. Actually most importantly, is the reduction of conflict points. Is something that we talk in the industry. Essentially, is when two objects could potentially touch each other, whether it be two vehicles, whether it be a vehicle and a pedestrian vehicle, and a cyclist, a pedestrian, or pedestrian, and pedestrian. So the consultants ultimately will evaluate all that data. They will provide the report to the staff. Staff will bring that back before the mayor and the council, and then there'll be a recommendation will come forward from the consultant to the city and city council, whether to reduce the traffic lanes from 4 to 2, or to keep it the way it is, or alter it, however they see fit. Just because a study is done, a study can still warrant or justify a road diet or a lane reduction, or it may not. But even if it does warrant it, that doesn't mean that we actually have to proceed forward. It just simply says this roadway would allow for a diet or whatever it may be. We're doing something similar but slightly different at Langley Avenue, as Councilwoman Breyer mentioned. We're actually about to begin a study to actually see what we could do to make Langley Avenue from Spanish Trail West more safe from an actual traffic operation standpoint. So rather than reducing actually reducing the number of lanes, which right now it's a 2-lane facility, so you're not going to be able to reduce it much more than that. But looking to see how we can safeten the roadway, because as you said, there's 13,000 plus vehicles a day driving that stretch of Langley Avenue, and you have a lot of pedestrian generators. You have the school, obviously. You have aerospace, aerospace to the west, and then just the residential community around it. Whereas in Summit Boulevard, we see the complete opposite. We have just over 5,600 to 6,000 vehicles a day, and really there's not much more room for growth. We don't have a school along, obviously we have Vickrey Center, as the councilwoman mentioned, but what you see is essentially what you have moving forward and really in the future along here from a capacity standpoint. So, but I'm not going to opine as to whether the study actually will justify a road diet or not. But at the end, we want our consultants that the experts to tell us whether it's acceptable or not. And if it is acceptable and council or the mayor's office decides they want to proceed forward, we surely can do that, and we will do that as staff. But if the direction is, or the public says, comes expressing opposition, then I believe it'll probably stop at that point. But that's really what the studies do. It just tells you whether or not you should move forward, or if should or should not move forward with a particular improvement to the roadway.
Thank you, and I too remember there's a great thing. The Bars family had a map, and it had a bunch of those dirt trails that you were talking about. There's one we used to take. I guess it's now, I forget. I think it's a Circle K. It used to be a Tom Thumb. It used to be a 7-Eleven on Bayou. It was the only thing on Bayou in that stretch, and there was a road that would go through what's Madison Park and Cordova Square and that whole area. So I do remember riding my bike in those dirt roads through here and coming up here to the old Cordova Park pool and the, as you said, up here to Roger Scott to play tennis. So it has changed a lot. I do agree with David. For the most part, we're fairly built out with a couple of things that are changing in some of the commercial side, but we have been fairly built out. But I've got Melina Jones.
I know it's been an ongoing talk, issue, and everything. And, I'm listening to what everybody's saying, and I just want to say, though, to our police department, I love what all y'all trying to do with this community, because we have had some serious shootings. And there's a lot more important things going on. Now, I know there's a lot of him, but thank you. But I want to address, now I know they're saying there's not much you can do. They're giving us these resources. I live on a fixed income. I'm disabled. Now, when you live in a house, you call people, you drive people to take calls. There's no call in my house, or there's no people. Now, they have these city fees or whatever they're saying on our light bill now. But people don't understand, for a person like me, when it comes time for me to get my medicine, I buy medicine all month long. I'm supposed to get it all. That's the problem I have also. I'm supposed to have all this medicine at one time. There are times with the medicine down there that's $7 that I can't pick up. There are times I have tons of doctor's appointments. I have to borrow gas money. So now, if I'm giving money, and the government don't even tax my disability. But I'm living in a city that's taken out for the fire department and all that. Not saying that I don't need them. Maybe one day I will. But what I'm saying, that is hard when I'm in a city and my government don't take that. But I'm living in a city that $7 and $8 and $10 means everything to me. I started to bring my medicine printout to show you how much my medicine costs. I have a son. I almost died 4 times. I don't have property or home or nothing to leave my son, but I am. Then you're talking about the homeless. Do you not understand how many more people are going to be homeless when we can't afford these light bills? I have friends that are homeless now because of the light bills. We're not set up. At my younger time, I had the privilege and I had the awesome life to visit South Florida. Pensacola is not set up like that. I have friends that ballet in Miami and everywhere. They make $100 a tip. They park people like rappers, movie stars. We're not set up like that. We don't have no activities like that. We don't even have the range of the spring breakers. We don't have the range of the concerts that they have to allow everybody to come out and volunteer or sign up or apply for these jobs. Now, it's sick and sad that the city can't do anything. And they allow this company to come here to Pensacola. You call these people is not nice. You can tell this is no longer Gulf Power. One time I called Gulf Power with a problem. I had to be put through to the Public Service Commission. I called Public Service Commission. They put me through the executive. I told this lady the problem I was having with getting my medicine and stuff. I even quoted it to her and everything. Out of nowhere, somebody at Gulf Power, they self-paid my bill. Somebody at Gulf Power, it was no community action, nobody. This particular executive, they told me just take it as a gift. I was like, oh my God. Now we have these people, they don't make proper extensions, they don't give you extensions or nothing. And then you talking about homeless, you wait till this light company done with your city. You're gonna have a ton of people homeless. I have friends homeless. They sleeping on couches. We all helping each other out. We feeding each other. You got people selling food stamps. And you talking about crime rate. You wait till your crime rate go up. I know a lady right now, her light bill is more than her Social Security check. What do I do? What do I do when that happens to me? What do I do? But see, some of y'all don't know about living like that. I'm from a drug neighborhood. My mama sleeping in her house with every light off. My mama 85, won't even turn on a heater. When I go home, there's no heat waiting on me because I have it turned off. I sleep in my clothes. This don't make no sense. I turn out switches in my light bulb. What kind of city this is that I tell my friends that I used to be proud of about Pensacola? I used to have friends I bragged on Pensacola. I used to tell them, oh, I'm here from the town of Roy Jones, baby. We got Vince Wheels, Cadillacs. We have 11 firms. Our firm ain't scared to tackle with you, California, New York. I used to brag about Pensacola. And I'm not bragging about it now. I don't understand what's going on then. You know, when I look at everybody here, you send me here, you send me there, they hang up in my face. This is not the city I'm proud of anymore. And then you think it's shooting. You know what you're going to do? You're going to make these monsters into beasts. Because they stand up, they can't, even the crime that's committed in South Florida, they make more money than the criminals here. So that means nobody can live. I don't understand, well, who allowed this to happen? And then I'm like, I don't ever even see too many of my people at these meetings. Now this is the first time I heard of a meeting announced. Well, what was the meeting announced about this company? My friends told me to watch out for this company. I got friends in Tampa, Orlando, family, they said watch out for them. They said, Melina, your bill can get high as $1,000. What kind of city you gonna have? What? Then my mama in the house totally dark. So you mean to tell me, you know, in the dark ass house, excuse my French, you cannot see who climbing through your window. Sometimes you won't even know who in your house with you. I've had my home broken into 2 times. And then you're gonna tell me it's nothing I can do. But then you still, even if I'm talking about that on that paper about on my bill, them 7 and 8 and 10 and $20 mean a lot to me. That you're taking from me that the government don't even take. That you're taking out from disabled people that buy medicine. So I gotta pay now to live in this city. I used to be proud of this city, real proud. When I wasn't even proud of myself, of my life of being disabled, ended up sick. I mean, just sick. I wasn't even proud for my son to look at me using the bathroom on his mama and everything, how I'm just messed up. And now I'm sitting here now wondering, can I get out my medicine? And now y'all want me to pay for these fire department and stuff. This don't make no sense to me. It doesn't. And anything you're saying still ain't gonna add up.
Ms. Jones, thank you very much for coming down here tonight. I will tell you, the city had nothing to do with the change in power company. We're well aware that Flower Brown Light is not Gulf Power. At the same time, the same, I guess, franchise fees were there. It's been going on over 30 years, so it certainly has been there since 1978. Those are things we certainly are working through. We don't control the power company. We don't control what happens to the power company, but we're looking at other alternatives. The one thing I can assure you that we don't want to do is we don't want to create a power company that ends up charging you more for your electricity. I think all of us are experiencing what we see, continue to experience in bids that coming out of COVID with the material and the labor shortage, everything is more expensive. I certainly hope that will change. And a variety of things that we're working with, so we understand those things are happening, but we will work as much as we can. I do know that the council president and myself have put something that will be coming on to the next agenda about the same thing, Chris, you did, to simply ask the Public Service Commission to reevaluate that process. That's about all we can do. The Public Service Commission and the state control rates. The City of Pensacola does not control rates. So we will look and evaluate what we can do, but at this particular time, that's what we are doing. I did see in the back, I do see Marcy Whitaker in the back, who's in charge of our housing. Not that she controls electricity, but we are working. We do understand housing has gotten very expensive in cost. We are looking at some different ways to be able to evaluate and bring forward. We are looking forward to bringing forward some initiatives that will be dealing with how we can lower the cost of housing, or at least put out the supply, a better supply of housing that we think will continue to try to bring counterbalance to what's happening in demand. I say it multiple times, we are continuing to see population increase and a variety of things occur. People want to be in the city of Pensacola. We do not have a demand problem that we've had for decades in this community. People want to be here. There's a lot of things going on. With the challenges we have with that, it's trying to deal on the supply side to make sure we don't see rapidly increasing prices. On housing, we can do something about that. On electricity with Gulf Power, that's going to be the state. But we are working through that what we can. I will say, Casey's brought forward, we have some things. If there's anybody that needs bill assistance, we have a number of different options there. United Ministries, Catholic Social Services, Community Action Program, Salvation Army, First Baptist Church, Olive Baptist Church, and my211florida.org. All of these things are certainly assistance opportunities, and we want to see as many people that can get assistance. I wish she had left her address, because I would have said we would have also evaluated what we were asking from FP&L to look at addresses that thought they were having challenges with their meters. Obviously, that's something we can ask for, and we will ask them to look and evaluate and make sure those meters are functioning properly. We have another speaker, Brian Wire.
Learn Toastmasters to always give eye contact, and it's hard in this room because somebody's making a bad deal of me, so I'm throwing this out as best I can.
We found out with Mrs. Miller, we just started. If you want to talk that way, go ahead, Brian, that's fine.
I'll start over here. But a question I had for Grove, I had the pleasure of being on the mayor's transition team with you almost 3.5 years ago, and from the, I guess, 12 years you served on the county commissioner, and in the 3.5 years now you served as mayor. What do you see as being the priorities left that you still want to work on while you're still in office? Unless you're in a new office sometime in the future.
No, and Brian, I certainly appreciate that. I know we've seen you. My thing is more trying to finish some things we've already started. I mean, that transition report really was fairly thorough, and it talked about 55 things that we could do. And in 4 years, we did a lot of those things. In 3 years, we were trying to finish up some things, but certainly some of the things we continue to have that we'd like to tie up, but there's, this city's going to keep moving. Our position is to keep it going, and I'm most proud of the culture we've created over 3 years, the team we built. the people we have that are running the city at almost every different position. I think we've got incredible people, and I don't think any time we've probably ever seen as good a team put together that's out there working on our problems. I think we're solving more things here and there, but there's no doubt we continue to see lots of challenges out there. So I appreciate everybody coming today, but I do think we have a lot of things that are very positive about our community. We certainly have some challenges. We're going to have some cost issues, housing, dealing with other utility stuff. We're going to continue to see some of those, and we know there's certainly shortages, and whenever you have shortages, you have challenges with prices. So we're going to continue to work through that, but that is not simply located in Pensacola. Everywhere right now is having issues related to these things with supply and demand, certainly in dealing with shortages and cost increase. So again, we're going to continue to work as best we can. I will simply say we have a lot of good people working very hard in this community, and they are making positive impacts one way or the other. Well, we have come through with all of our speakers. I do know there are several people here that probably would like, if you have a chance to talk or want to talk with somebody. I know we have a lot of candidates in the room. I'm not going to mention any names. Don't want to get anybody upset or anything. But if you want to talk to them, I know they'll be happy to talk with you. And then also, we certainly have all of our staff. If there's anything you want to talk with them about, you're welcome to talk with them. If you're welcome to talk any further with me, if we have anybody else that wants to say anything, we'll certainly appreciate that. But otherwise, certainly thank you for coming out, and we will try to do better next time and not put one of these on a social holiday next time. So we apologize for that, and we will do better next time. I think we'll go down probably maybe on the west side like we did last time with in the Legion Field area or the Vickrey Center over there. We'll go to the west side with our next one. But we certainly always appreciate being here at Vickrey Center. This is near and dear to my heart. I grew up at the pool right across the way. I grew up playing tennis here. Lived all my life in Cordova Park, at least when I've been in Pensacola, and certainly have enjoyed this area of town, even while I hear jets flying over me. It's a special part of town. I certainly love it. To me, it's always been kind of the heart of this area, and certainly having the amenities that we have, the playing fields, this great facility with a basketball, and the other things that are here. This is a great facility that makes it, as I think Mr. Horgan said earlier, was why you want to live in the city of Pensacola. And so I'm a big believer in that. And I think as I tell Parks and Rec all the time, I'm not just a cheerleader for Parks and Rec. I'm an actual product of Pensacola Parks and Rec, and very proud to be. I think they do an amazing job. So thank you for coming out here and taking advantage of some of your public assets and utilities, and we hope you enjoyed tonight. And if you have any questions, want to be with a particular department, we have people here so we can answer any of your questions more directly. But thank you for showing up tonight.